A few weeks ago, I had a holy moment in a place you might not expect. I was 15 rows from the very back of Greensboro Coliseum at the Red Hot Chili Peppers concert. Some might think a rock concert would be an odd place for a religious experience, and for most people, it would be. But for me, my relationship with God and my relationship with music have always been connected. Even in my first memory of being inside a church, music was present. For years, I went with my parents to choir practice before Sunday night Bible study, and for praise team practice after. I like praise team practice better. I got to play with Legos. When I was 6, I started making my own songs. Short little songs, always about God or about what we were talking about in Sunday school that week. My mom would write them all down. She still has those notebooks upstairs. The melodies are long lost, but I have a record of what God looked like through the eyes of 6-year-old Sam. When I was younger, I was in church every time the doors were open. Right around the same time I started piano lessons, I started in a program that my church had on Sunday nights called Awana. Awana was a group where kids would come together and have a game time, a Bible-based lesson, and a workbook with scripture verses to memorize. I've always been good at memorization, and so I was able to go through the workbooks faster than the other kids. My memorization skill also helped me with piano. I was able to work through the theory books much faster than I was able to work through the actual songs. But in both experiences, I lost sight of the point. I memorized verses because I wanted to finish my book before the other kids. I practiced piano begrudgingly. I lost the music somewhere in all the work. I became good at piano, but bad at music. I became good at religion, but bad at faith. Both of the wonderful things that had given my life purpose were being taught to me in unfamiliar and regimented ways. I remember begging my parents to let me quit piano lessons. I was prepared to give up on music. It wasn't fun anymore, and the magic was gone. I felt similarly about church, but as I was homeschooled, I didn't have friends anywhere else, and I knew that wasn't a conversation I was prepared to have with Mom and Dad. My parents kept me in piano lessons anyway. They told me I'd appreciate it one day, to which I responded with all the wisdom of my 11 years with a sarcastic and rebellious, "Yeah, right," under my breath. At that point, I was a long way off from any rock and roll holy moments. After I stopped piano lessons, I didn't play much at all. My musical side was limited to whatever Mom was listening to on K-Love. No offense to K-Love fans, but I needed something else from music at that point. Every song seemed to be about how wonderful everything was because of God, and I wasn't feeling particularly wonderful or close to God. I confided in my friend Will about how I was feeling, and he told me that he sometimes felt the same way, and that there was a song he liked to listen to when he felt that way. He sent me the link to the music video for Be My Escape by Relient K, a Christian group, but different than what I was used to. It seemed more honest. I hadn't encountered music that admitted problems existed before. In a way, it was like hearing music for the first time, again. I bought the Relient K CD and sought out more music like it. I thought how cool it would be to be able to play along with these songs, so I sat at the piano and tried to figure out the piano parts to Relient K, 3 Days Grace, anything that made me feel like someone else understood what I was going through. As I listened to more and more rock, I started to branch out into other bands and styles. I became a student of rock from AC/DC to Zeppelin. I found that musical passion again. So that's why I'm at a rock concert, but we still have to get to the holy part. I've always been one to ask questions about faith and scripture, much to the chagrin of my middle school Sunday school teachers. But as I got older, my questions got harder to answer. I was 15 when I first considered that maybe the reason I didn't feel God in that place wasn't due to a failure on my part. My sister and I decided it was time to look for a new church. After a fair amount of research using Google, we decided to try a church called College Park Baptist. On that first Wednesday night, I came with no idea what I was doing or where to go. But that night, I found a place where others chose to think critically about faith. A youth group where it was okay to have faults. I'm sure I hadn't been here 2 months when Lynn noticed me drumming on the back of the pew in front of me in Tessera. She'd asked if I ever played a djembe before. I told her I hadn't, and she said, "Okay, when we got back from her office and said, "Hit in the middle for a low sound, here for a high sound, and do you want to drum next week in Tesseract?" To which I responded, "Wait, what? Okay. Awesome, thanks, Sam." The drumming for Tesseract has been some of the most fun I've had with music in a long time. I finally feel like I'm able to connect with God through music again. I'm back to age 6, still building, but with all new Legos. Songs have been the building blocks of my faith. I found one more block while watching the Red Hot Chili Peppers, while watching a man named Flea play a bass guitar solo. While the entire building was screaming in unison to their hit song, "Give It Away," I found a new truth in the lyrics. Keep your more to receive your less. Love is free. Give it away. Give it away. Give it away now. In our scripture for today, Paul talks about the good work that God has gotten ready for us to do. When I play music for you, I hope you're all there with me in those moments, in the communal experiences that happen as I try to give away the gifts God gave me. It's been a long road getting here, but I'm happy to say I love God, I love music, and I love my church. Thank you for giving me a place to give it away.